Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King was born on January 15, 1929 in Georgia. During college, King worked and studied hard. He became a minister. After Civil War, segregation laws were written in the South. These laws kept African Americans and white people apart. King worked to change unfair laws. He believed all segregation laws were wrong. Some laws made it hard for African Americans to vote. Other laws said that African Americans had to sit in the back seats of buses. Another law said that African American children and white children had to go to separate schools. Also, African Americans and white people could not use the same parks, pools, and beaches. They were not allowed to eat in the same restaurants. King said he would find peaceful ways to change the laws. In 1955, an African American woman named Rosa Parks got on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama. The bus driver told Parks to get up and let a white person have her seat. Parks refused to move. Two police officers took her to jail. African American leaders in Montgomery learned what had happened to Rosa Parks. They wanted to change the city's unfair bus law and start a boycott against the city's buses. During a boycott, people stopped buying a product or using a service, stopped riding the city's buses. Martin became one of the most important leaders of the boycott. The boycott lasted for a year. King became a famous leader in 1956. The Supreme Court ruled that bus segregation laws were against the Constitution. The boycott ended and African Americans could sit anywhere on a bus. King and other leaders tried to change more laws peacefully. In 1963, King decided to lead a peaceful protest in Birmingham, Alabama. He wanted to change the city's unfair laws, but the police and their dogs attacked Kim's group. Martin was sent to jail. He wrote a letter to Americans from the Birmingham jail. He wrote that all Americans should have equal rights. Many agreed that unfair laws should be changed. King worked with other leaders to plan a large march on Washington, D.C. The march will show all Americans that the nation needed new laws right. In August 1963, more than 250,000 Americans joined the March on Washington, where African Americans and white people marched together. During March, King made a famous speech named "I Have a Dream." He said his dream was that all Americans would be treated fairly and live together in peace. The next year, Congress passed the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The law said African Americans and white people could use the same schools, restaurants, parks, and buses. In 1965, Congress passed the law that made it much easier for African Americans to vote. King was given the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964. On April 4, 1968, Martin was shot and killed. Martin Luther King Jr. Day is now an American holiday in January. People in every state remember this great American.